Okay, I'm gonna demonstrate my adapter for donor cartridges for the Super Nintendo. This is the circuit board, although this is not the final design. It's close enough for this video. So there's two aspects of this adapter. One, it'll have parts on here, or one version of it will have parts on here to decode a 27C322 EEPROM. Or if your game is 2 megabytes or smaller, then you just bridge these jumpers here, and then you don't have to have the parts here. So in other words, we'll have one with parts that'll cost a little bit more, and then we'll have one that'll be completely blank, no parts at all. So it'll be less expensive, and it'll be, just for the 27C160 EEPROMs. So, and you just do those jumpers there. So, so I'm going to demonstrate just a couple right here, right now. So I've already programmed the ROMs, and so what I have here is I have a Demon's Crest, and then I have just a regular Nintendo donor. These are extremely plentiful and cheap. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the decoupling capacitor. It's pretty simple. You just heat it up on the bottom and just pull it out. Okay, so decoupling cap is removed, and then we're just going to kind of smooth over any roughness here. Okay, so that's done. So now, because this is a 32-pin mask ROM, its native size is 1 megabyte. Demon's Crest is 2 megabytes. And so, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the extra address here. So in other words, if I put this on here like this, okay, it's only going to give me one megabyte, because I don't know if you can see this, A20 and A21 are here, and they're not, there's no pins there to solder to. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add just kind of a solder blob to the A20. You can do it to both of them, but A20 is the only one needed. So I just added an extra solder there, just a blob. I'm going to put this on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up that one spot where the blob was. Okay. So that's on and connected now. So the goal here is just kind of make the easiest possible, repo. I didn't want to have to, get out a piece of wire or anything else. So now I'm just going to solder this on. And of course, this adapter really is more geared towards the donors that save, which is why it's shaped the way it is, and I'll go into that in a minute. But I'm just going to show that it can be used for these single ones as well. So a future version of this adapter will be able to mount to the 1A 3B carts, the ones that save, but they're the older style. Anyways, it's that one's in production right now, but okay, so I'm questioning whether that pin soldered or not. A little more heat on it. I think it did. Anyways, okay, so I already programmed the ROM, but I haven't soldered it completely in yet, so I'm going to do that now. If I can get my act together here. So I'm going to use a technique called drag soldering. I'm going to solder. Okay. Drag soldering. It's kind of like it sounds. We're just going to take this, heat it up. I'm just going to drag across the pins. It uses more solder this way, but it is a lot faster. So, okay. Squished a bug. Okay, so just do a quick inspection. No bridges. Everything looks good. Okay, now the jumpers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now the last thing we need to do is disable this mask ROM. So I'm going to cut pin. Now you have to count from the empty holes here. Okay, you can't say this is pin 1. I mean, you can, but you count from here, you go all the way around, and it's pin 33. Yeah, 33. So it'd be pin 33. You're going to cut it, this at the very bottom. Going to bend it over like this. Okay. And I'm going to solder it to the pin right next to it, which is power. Okay. So I suppose if you ever wanted to restore the cart, you could remove all this and put that pin back. But okay, so this one is done. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. So on here it says cut for 160. Okay, so we have to make that cut with the razor. Pretty simple. This is the last item. So if you're using a 160 ROM, you got to make this cut. Okay, that should be cut. Just make sure. Okay. Put in my cart to test. Things along here, press start. Okay, so that was pretty darn simple. You don't have to remove the ROM. Maybe I can give you a more close-up look of this. You got to do these jumpers here. You have to do the cut and bend over there. That disables or deactivates the mask ROM. It makes it like it's invisible, like it was never there. Okay, you gotta just put this on the back, solder it, cut the 160 little jumper thing there, and you're done. I mean, if you were to do one more thing, it would be to add a decoupling capacitor to that point right there. Those are 805 pads, so I made it real easy that a novice could put a cap there. 0.1 microfarad. So that'd probably be, if it was me, I would put it there. But a lot of people think it's not necessary. So anyways, so let's go to the next one here. Get my camera lined up again. So, okay, so the next one, solder is situated here. Kind of going crazy on me. All right, so the next one. Let's see, I have one, set that one aside. I have one here with parts. Okay, so I've got Brutal Mario. Brutal Mario is a 4 megabyte game, and it is a low map game, so I'm going to use the probably can't see that, 1A, 1M, which is 16 megabyte. It's kind of the donor cart. You go, what am I going to do with this thing? You know, the SRAM is so small. So anyways, so here we go. So I haven't done anything to this board other than remove the battery. Here's my circuit board. It's got the parts on it. So I'm going to finish soldering my ROM. I'm going to drag solder it real quick. To drag solder, your iron has to be pretty hot. Mine's, I think, around 870. So need a hot iron. Okay, this thing's kind of lightweight, so I'm just gonna help hold it down. And I know there's a guy that's coming out with some sort of donor adapter as well. And although I've only seen pictures of it or a video of it. I don't actually have one. But basically it requires removing the mask ROM, burning one of these 322 ROMs, you know, trimming all the ROM pins and then adding header pins and then soldering it all together. In my mind, I mean, so watch, you know, that just seems like too much work. It's smaller, maybe even a little sexier, but I don't know. Anyway, so I haven't done anything to this cart other than remove the battery. So this just sits right on. I mean, it really could not be much easier. I didn't even trim, you know, this pin. It's just the way it was. So you don't have to solder these pins. This is basically just a nice, easy way for this to just kind of marry up to the donor cart. Let's see here. Does this have? Yeah, so it's a 36 pin mask ROM. So that means all the pins are there. And we don't have to do any blobs or anything. We can just solder and go. And so, anyways, so I mean the SRAM pins, you know, I'll probably do, you know, a couple just for kind of anchoring, you know, just for whatever. The holes are electrically connected, but it's not necessary to solder them. My board is 1 millimeter thick, so it should, you know, sit down on just about any of the ROM pins, and you know, and have the pin stick through. All right, it's there, and if you notice this one pin right here, this is kind of an anchor pin for my battery. So when I put the battery in, you know, it'll just provide kind of a stabilizing anchor, you know, for the ROM. And I mean, it probably doesn't need it, but why not? But if you don't want it, don't need it, whatever, you know, you can just clip it off with a pair of cutters. It's no big deal. So anyways, I'm just going to solder my anchor pin along with my new battery. Okay, that's it. It is complete. Oh, nope, not complete, almost forgot. So again, we're going to do pin 33 here. We're going to bend it over. You can see that. And we're going to disable the mask ROM by doing this. Come on, get over there. So, because if I don't do that, then there will be what's called a bus conflict, where you have two devices trying to drive the data lines at the same time. And it will not work. Because you'll have Mario and then whatever sports game this used to be, trying to, you know, send data to the console. Okay, so put this in. So this is Brutal Mario World. Alright, so you get the idea. So I've got a couple others that I was going to do, but I think I pretty much made my point. This is Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, the high ROM game. It goes together just like, you know, Brutal Mario. There's BS Zelda. You know, again, you know, you got the donors. 1J3M is a high mapped 64K game. Another 1J3M. So, you know, so whether it's got the narrow SRAM like this one, or the wide one, you know, like this one, you know, this adapter has the holes and the mating ability, you know, to go to either one. So literally, it is literally mount your ROM. Maybe some jumpers, you know, put the card, you know, put it on, and you can see that, you know, it fits over them perfectly. So